schooling system works. And that's not, those people usually don't have access to that in the business world unless they're going to pay a lot of money for coaching and consulting. In this business, we've got a turnkey system with inexpensive startup, with almost no risk, and you've got incredible mentorship here. And what I've been able to learn by being involved with this company for over 20 years is more valuable than anything I learned trying to be or going to school to be a doctor. It's been just a wonderful experience. And so I started to look at things. I started to look at this business and said, where do I want to invest my time? This was something in the beginning, which was really just a part-time business for me to pay for some of my living expenses and do something that I can enjoy doing to help people improve their health and give people guidance. But as I started to learn more about leveraged income, I started to learn more about the potential, how many people we could help, the fulfillment that could come from this, the happiness that successful distributors were having that were doing the business for 5, 10, 20 years, the traveling they were doing, the time they were spending with their family. And I looked at the life of a doctor and I said, I've got to show up every single day, right? I've got to fight with insurance companies. There's not a lot of freedom and flexibility in being a practice. And a lot of people are in that same position. If you're listening here today, maybe you're not a doctor, but maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're an employee, and you're struggling with the same thing. How do I create some more income, or how do I have more flexibility and more fulfillment, or more recognition and more appreciation for what I do? How do I get to be around people that inspire me, that I can have fun to make an impact? And this business offers all of those things. And I said, well, I'm going to make a choice here. I went out to this company headquarters and said, maybe this is a better opportunity to take what I learned in school, but apply it to a different business and going into practice and still be able to help people. And when I looked at the successful new skin distributors that were at the top level, to me, it was a lot more, it was a better lifestyle that I wanted to create for myself and the family that I wanted to have than going into practice. And so I made a full-time commitment to doing this. I got my license in New York, but I never went into practice. And this has been full-time income for us for over 20 years, and it has been incredible. And where we are right now, I believe that the best times are right in front of us. And so when we start to evaluate businesses, whether you are evaluating this business or another business, these are 5 things that you really want to pay attention to. Number one, are you in front of the market trends, right? Is the demand for your product or service increasing, or is it shrinking? If it's shrinking, it becomes more and more difficult to build your business. If it's increasing, it becomes easier and easier. So we're going to talk about the market trends here with new skin and anti-aging. Number two, you need a great company behind you. And having a great company behind you is so important. And we'll talk a little bit about new skin because you have the strength and stability of a multi-billion-dollar company without having to make that capital investment in a traditional business. Number 3, you need products that have real market demand. And really, you want products that are patented that you can't get elsewhere, so you're not selling a commodity. You need products that are consumable, right? I was just talking to an affiliate yesterday who sells water filtration systems, and people need new filters once every year or every 2 years. So there's not much recurring revenue in those things. And so when you have products that are consumable, you can make a sale one time and you can keep getting commission month after month after month. Again, another way to create leverage, another way to decouple your time from your income. I have customers from 21 years ago when I lived in California that are still on subscription. And some of them live in Europe now, and I get commission. That 1 hour of work that I did over 20 years ago has paid me tens of thousands of dollars over 20 years by just creating a customer and the commissions I made from the products that they have continued to buy. And so having consumable products that are subscription based is really a great way to have more flexibility. You need a great compensation that's going to help you achieve your goals, right? So in the beginning, I wanted a way to make some money to pay for some of my living expenses. But as I learned more about it, and I made a bigger commitment because I saw that there was more to the compensation than just at a lower level, I said, what happens if you really do this seriously? And so we attract a lot of incredible leaders because of the way, not just because of the compensation plan and the success record behind it, but also the type of income that comes in. And my wife and I have been able to do a tremendous amount of traveling that we probably wouldn't have been able to do if I was in practice. We've been able to take time off work and our business. We've been able to disappear for days, weeks. I've been able to slow down when my kids were born because of the hard work that I put in the beginning of the business. When you have leverage and recurring revenue, you can, and you do that successfully and work hard, you can have some more choices in how hard you want to work later. And this compensation plan is, in my opinion, has been something that's been really great for us and our family. And then you want to get involved in the right time. We'll talk about why now is really a great time to get involved in Nu Skin. So let's talk about some companies first, and let's talk about how technology is really changing the way, or has really changed the way that many of us do business. It has completely disrupted markets. You look at TripAdvisor, right? It's an online travel agency. They're the biggest ones there, right? And they just let the customers do the marketing for them through recommendations. You look at Facebook, the world's most popular media owner, and they don't even create any content, right? It was a guy by the name, actually, MySpace was Tom, right? Facebook started, and it was someone inviting a friend and a few friends. And now there's this huge network of billions of people. And Facebook figured out a way to monetize that, right? But they don't create any of the media. You look at Uber. I mean, how many of you have taken an Uber? 10 years ago, did you take an Uber? Probably not, right? But when's the last time that you hailed a yellow cab? I can't remember the last time we did. We prefer Uber because technology makes it better, right? In this case, and they're the world leader in transportation. They don't even own the cars, right? That's all technology driven. What they're doing is these companies are connecting the customers with the people providing the service. And the company gets a little cut of it for providing that backbone, and it provides an independent opportunity for other people to be able to do things, whether it's driving a car or whether it's renting a home. I just spoke to a good friend of mine, Dr. Caldwell, last night, and he goes, I've got my apartment, my condo here on the beach. I wasn't thinking about renting it, but I threw it up on Airbnb and we already have 6 renters for this thing. He goes, this is great, right? But it was hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in that property management. And now he's using Airbnb, and Airbnb doesn't own the property. He does. And all he's doing now is he's leveraging their infrastructure to help connect the customers to his property. And it's very similar to what Nu Skin does here. And they've been in this space for 40 plus years, where they've provided the backbone for us independent contractors or affiliates to be able to acquire customers, connect those customers to the company, and to get a commission with no inventory, no employees, no investment required to be able to do the business. And this is something that everyone on this Zoom can do, right? Without the big investment of these other things. Like Airbnb is great, but you need the money to invest and the risk. Uber's fine, I guess, if you want to go make some money here and there, but you're dependent on how many people you can pick up in your car. So you're beating up your car, you're doing all those things. Now, Uber would be a better business model if you could go recruit a whole bunch of Uber drivers and you could get a percentage of every Uber driver that you brought to the network and leveraged income. That would be an attractive business model. But getting in a car and having no leverage, but they have flexibility, right? You can turn it on and off anytime you want, but you're still trading time for money. So Nu Skin's a way to have all the leverage, right? A way to use technology, to have patented products, and to be able to have really an unlimited earning potential with a tremendous amount of leverage and recurring revenue as well. And we've really been able to enjoy this, and thousands, if not tens of thousands of people all over the world have been able to do that as well. And what we're doing here is we're right in front of these trends, right? You look at social media, the world is connected more so than they've ever been. Money is flowing right now into longevity and health and anti-aging, whatever you want to call it. People are investing in ways that they can feel younger, look younger for longer, so that they can live a better and healthier life long term. People are investing in these things more so today than ever. Technology is allowed. I mean, look at here, we're on Zoom, right? All of you guys are on here for all of you guys are on here for free, right? And we're connected with people all over the world because technologies allow us to communicate faster than anything before. For those of you that are seeing my hands move as my kids just came home and they're opening my door to my office. And, this is one of the great things about the business here is that I can be home, communicating with people all over the world. And as soon as I get off the Zoom, I'm going to go out of my office and I'm going to give my kids a good hug because I get to spend time with them. And if I was in practice, I wouldn't have that type of flexibility or that type of lifestyle. People are changing. People no longer want to work in a cubicle. You look at probably half the people, or I don't know the latest statistic, but you look at how many people are doing something else on the side to make money because they're tired of trading time for money. People want to work from the beach. They want to work from a coffee shop. They want to work from their car. They want the flexibility to be able to do that. And this is a great business that provides that. So let's talk a little bit about Nu Skin. They've been in business for over 40 years. So they've got a great history. They've got the highest financial rating that you can get, meaning they're a very financially sound company. They're operating in over 40 markets in the world with a global seamless comp plan. They have over $1 billion in assets. So $1 billion in assets that are being invested in and managed by a company. And all we have to do is attach ourselves to it. We don't have to invest. We don't have to manage these buildings. We don't have to manage the employees. They take care of all of that so that we can stay focused on building the business, which is bringing customers and recruiting and training new affiliates to do the same thing. They're investing tens of millions of dollars a year in research and development to give us the most innovative products in the market. They're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So it's not a private company, it's very public. And that means that everything is very transparent, and they've been a Forbes 5th most trustworthy company. What Nu Skin did back in 1998 is they had acquired a company called Pharmanex. And Pharmanex was the leading nutraceutical research company started by these three scientists that were experts in drug discovery. And their interest was in natural medicine. And so they ended up leaving the drug industry and taking their understanding of drug discovery, looking in nature, but they really wanted to bring the natural compounds to market. And Nu Skin later acquired them after they had built their distribution in about 40,000 retail pharmacies around the United States. Nu Skin acquired them, and it has really provided a tremendous amount of innovation to really fuel the science that's behind this company. Most supplement and skincare companies have no scientists, or maybe they have a couple of them, or maybe they contract them. And when you look at what Pharmanex and Nu Skin has been able to do, they have about 70 full-time scientists, tons of awards and scientific posters that they present and studies that they publish. And so whether you're someone that just wants to learn about the science of some product and why it works, or maybe you just want a product that works, right? You know that there's great science behind this, but I work with a lot of doctors as well, and they're a lot more skeptical of things. And one of the things that I love about this is it doesn't matter who I talk to, the science stands on its own, even with the most difficult people, and a lot of those are healthcare providers. And when they look at the science that Nu Skin and Pharmanex has, they embrace it because they substantiate everything that they do. And they're able to do that through their corporate campuses. So these are their buildings that they own. Most of these are in the US. One of them is over in Asia, where they're unlocking a lot of the secrets of Chinese medicine using a westernized, standardized approach. And these are buildings that you can come tour. I mean, one of the things that I joined the company is I went to tour the company. I went there reluctantly because I was busy and didn't have really a lot of money as a student, but they encouraged me to go, and I was intrigued enough to say, well, I might as well look at this, because if I don't, I might regret it one day. And just walking the campus, meeting the people, going through the office buildings, meeting the leaders of the company, seeing the distributors that were there, there was just this visceral feeling of happiness and enthusiasm, inspiration. And I just wanted to be part of it. And when I started to learn about the science and the business model and the compensation, I made a more serious commitment to do it. One of the other great things about the company is they do a lot of good around the world. This isn't something they just started doing. They've been doing this for decades. And they fed 850 million meals to starving kids around the world. We're going to be approaching a billion worldwide. No, we're not McDonald's selling hamburgers. These are actually vitamin enriched meals where starving kids can actually thrive. And there are countless lives that have been saved because of this initiative that Nu Skin has been able to do. And so let's dive into the next point here, which is the products and the science. What has really attracted me to the company was the biophotonic scanner. Now, it didn't look like that when I started. It looked like this, and it was in a big trombone case with a laptop with a key in the back. It had to be calibrated. It took 45 minutes to do it. But the fact that I could have this technology in my hand, and granted, it was in a huge carrying case, but I could bring it to people and I could give someone a number without having to send them to the University of Utah, where this device was originally being used for eye disease and cancer research. The fact that this was portable was absolutely incredible. And over the years, this technology has gotten smaller. Now, this was not funded by the National Institute, or this was not funded or developed by Pharmanex. It's not some gadget they made to sell their product. It's actually funded by the National Institute of Health for disease risk assessment by looking at antioxidant levels in the eye. Pharmanex later acquired it. They don't use it for disease risk assessment. They use it to measure antioxidants, which we know are protective molecules that improve our health. And what they've learned and they studied is that it actually is a way to demonstrate that the science of their products can actually make a measurable difference. People want to know if what they're doing is working. And so Nu Skin has invested over $100 million in bringing this technology to market to be able to show people that the products that you're going to buy from us are going to work. In fact, we'll guarantee it or your money back. And so the test only takes 30 seconds to do now. It's very convenient. It's portable. It runs off an iPad. I've got one right here, so it's a lot smaller. I've scanned people on airplanes. I've scanned people at coffee shops. I've scanned people in my kitchen, and I scan people in doctors' offices. And so it's a really convenient technology to use. And the thing is that a lot of people fail. This says 94% success rate. It's actually 94% failure rate. Most people fail the test because their nutrition is not very good, and fail it according to the science and the standards. I don't think Nu Skin will say people fail, but most people are failing with their nutrition, their lifestyle. Most people eat 1 or 2 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. One's usually ketchup. The other one is French fries. I'm not joking. Those are the top 2 vegetable groups that people eat. We're not eating enough. And so when we can measure people, we can create awareness to improve it. And then we can give people solutions where they're motivated to improve their diet and lifestyle. And then the Pharmanex supplements are guaranteed to improve their score. We have nearly 100% response rate, and people can track their score and they can see how they're doing for the first time. And so I'm going to play this short video here and talk about some of the progress that we've made, and then we'll talk about where we're going with the technology. So yes, this technology is going to be fitting in the palm of your hand. And that is going to unlock the true potential of what this technology can do because it will be so accessible to people. Think about cell phones, right? And I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember the cell phones when they were a suitcase, essentially, right? My uncle had one of those things. I remember it was like a carrying case, and I don't know how much it weighed. It was like 30, 40 pounds. And he threw it in the trunk of his car. He wired it in. There was a wire that went, and then he could talk on the phone. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And he was the only person I knew that had one of those. And then you had the big brick phone, and then you had the StarTAC phones from Motorola, and they were very expensive. They were clunky to use. There weren't many people that used them. But as that cell phone technology got smaller, as it got more convenient, as the cost of the devices came down, as the coverage got better, as the cost to use got lower, we all have cell phones. In fact, most of us don't even have landline phones anymore. At some point, technology gets to a point where it is so convenient that it goes to the masses. And when you can get in front of that shift at the right time, you can make a fortune. And I believe that we are at that point, that tipping point with this technology. I believe that the people that are engaged right now during this window, as we transition to the version that will fit in your pocket, are going to be potentially the highest paid people in our company's history. Because what we can do now is we can easily tell people, what supplement do you take? And how do you know if it's working? That is the question that everybody has out there. I ask this question to people all of the time. Do you take a supplement? Most people say yes. In fact, studies show that 75% or more of people regularly take a supplement in the United States. And if you ask them, is it working? What do they say? I don't know. Not sure. Yet, with all that uncertainty, people still spend $60 billion a year in supplement sales, hoping it's working because there's never really been an easy way to measure. And I believe, and we believe, that people deserve to know that if people are spending $60 billion in the US alone, they deserve to know if it's working. And that companies shouldn't just be able to market things to people. I think that they should be held accountable. And the way to hold people accountable is to empower consumers to know if what they're buying is working. And we can do that for the first time very easily. And that gives us a huge competitive advantage. There's a tremendous amount of research and validation, whether it's universities behind the biophotonic scanner, whether it's awards they've won, media shows that they've been on. They were the first company to get the approval to sponsor the US Olympic team. And we've been recognized a lot by the business community. So this isn't something new where there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of uncertainty. We know exactly what this technology has done. It's just been very limited because of the size and the expense of this. Now we're going to be able to bring it to the masses. And what we can do now is we can recommend a product called Life Pack, which is a comprehensive formula. It has actually 7 formulas built into one little pack. So it's a lot more convenient where it saves people time and money by being able to get everything integrated into one pack, fits in your pocket. You take the 4 pills and you know it's working. And if it doesn't, you get your money back. And no other company can say that in the world. And LifePack becomes that foundation of these micronutrients that your body needs to function optimally. But Pharmanex and Nu Skin didn't just stop there. They acquired a leading genetics company called LifeGen Technologies that were studying aging at a genetic level. And we used to think that aging was just inevitable. Like my grandparents, they just kind of aged. They didn't do things proactively other than play tennis and golf, right? They just thought they're going to age and whatever happens, happens, and that there's nothing we can really do to influence it. But we now understand, and the scientific community understands that we can control our aging process more than we realize, and that the expression of your genes or how your genes function can be influenced back to a more youthful state using a science and technology called Age Lock, which is exclusive to Pharmanex and Nu Skin. We can measure aging at a genetic level. We know what it looks like when you're young. We know what it looks like when you're old. And that allows Pharmanex and Nu Skin to develop skincare and nutritional products with extreme precision that can target these genes and reset them to a more youthful state. And they don't just say this, they actually then do clinical studies. So this product can be demonstrated that it's being absorbed in the body using the biophotonic scanner. So now people can see that it's improving their antioxidant score. And there are a lot of other things that this is doing with genetics that are proven by clinical research, by functional brain MRI scans, and blood tests and so forth, showing that this product is resetting genes. And the studies are all published in peer-reviewed journals, which meets the needs of some of the most difficult scientists around the world. And so what this opportunity really comes down to is it's actually very simple, right? Sometimes the most simplest things can make the most can become the most effective ways of doing things. Cholesterol, the ability to measure that created a 20-30 billion-dollar market in drugs to lower cholesterol. When you were able to measure bone density, people started buying bone density supplements or calcium supplements. You look at blood glucose monitoring, you look at Aura rings, you look at scales. When you can measure things, you can drive the market. Now, what's interesting about this is only Pharmanex and Nu Skin have the biophotonic scanner. It's patented. There's a lot of proprietary technology locked up into that thing. And they basically own a biomarker. They have the monopoly not only to the test, but also to the solution. And that gives Pharmanex and Nu Skin distributors an unfair marketing advantage. And so when we get a baseline score of somebody, we can say, are you taking supplements? Yeah. Are they working? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, they're not doing so well. We then would recommend, would you like us to recommend something that will work better for you? We guarantee it or your money back. People say, sure. They go on LifePak, ageLOC Youth, or another scanner certified product. So only Pharmanex and Nu Skin have scanner certified products that are called SCS certified. And if it has that certification, it means it's guaranteed to improve your score, your money back. So then they come back in a month or two, they see their score improve. They now know that it's working better. Are they ever going to go back to taking the old product now knowing that this one's working better? And the answer is no. So not only can you acquire customers with this technology, but you can now retain those customers, right? You can start to retain. And what happens is I believe we will start to consolidate the highly fragmented supplement business where there are thousands of companies out there marketing things. We're the only company that can easily prove that our product is effective. And a lot of industries that are fragmented will, at some point, something will come in, disrupt, and consolidate it. Apple did it with the phone industry, right? I mean, how many of you had an Apple product 15 years ago? Probably only a few of you. But maybe you got the first iPhone, the second iPhone, the third iPhone. And once you got an iPhone, every single phone you bought was probably an iPhone. And if you have an iPhone, you probably have a MacBook computer. You probably have AirPods. You probably have a lot of other Apple products that you wouldn't have had otherwise, because what Apple did is they introduced you to a product, they disrupted the market and consolidated, and then they started to build an ecosystem with products that all work together. And so Pharmanex not only has these scanner certified products, and they have a way to measure for the first time, but this new device will potentially be able to measure a lot of other things. They're doing a lot of clinical studies, and there are a lot of markers that they're looking at that they believe that they'll be able to measure. And so as this technology goes out there, which it'll start to roll out later this year, they'll do a full-scale rollout next year. And so the good thing is you're in front of it, right? The key is to see things and get involved with things before the masses see it, not after everybody sees it. If you're an entrepreneur, right, you want to be in front of the wave, and that's where we are. And this compensation package within Nu Skin, I mean, I looked at this, I had, show me how I can make a couple $1,000s a month to pay my bills. And I looked at what I need to create in sales, and I said, I think I can do that. And once I did that, I said, okay, show me how I can double that. Show me how I can double that again. When you're in a leveraged business vehicle, there really aren't many limits to what you can do. But when I started to look at the top level income, which is at the bottom there, the Blue Diamond directors, $37,000 a month, not a year, a month, right? Almost $500,000 a year. And there are about a little bit over 3% of the brand representatives that actually achieve that. So I said, I think I can do that. I think I can be in the top 3%. And all I needed to do was have a burning desire, be willing to work, be coachable, and just be consistent. And it's been an incredible journey to be able to achieve that. And so we touch a little bit about timing, right? Is to get involved in front of the wave. That's when you can grab the most market share. We are in that space right now. We're going from about 5,000 devices globally. We believe we'll be at 25,000 devices with towards probably the middle of next year. And then we'll be able to crank out more and more of these devices and be able to scale, because the current device doesn't have a lot of scalability to it with 5,000 of them, but these new devices will be able to build hundreds of thousands of these devices. We talked a little bit about Apple's ecosystem, right? And once you have a product, you start to attach other Apple products there. Like my wife was like, why don't you buy those other headphones? I'm like, because they're not going to connect as well as the Apple stuff, probably, right? And so a lot of people, they want things that are connected and they want simplicity. And what Pharmanex and Nu Skin is doing is they're moving into this area of personalization where they're grabbing social information, AI, machine learning, purchasing trends, mobile data, other health biomarker type of data about aging. So people will be able to better understand how their body is aging and what they can do about it. So we'll connect all of this data in this ecosystem then to consumable products that will help people meet their health and beauty goals. You look at Apple, you look at all the devices that Apple has out there. What are those devices connected to? They're connected to the App Store. And how much money does Apple make in the App Store? Tens of billions of dollars, because they have devices that are driving the sales of products in the App Store. They have subscription services like iCloud storage and other things. But the more the devices they have out there, the more consumers, the more consumption of that other stuff is. And it's the same thing with Nu Skin. Once you get customers into the system, they start to consume other products that you get commissioned on. There's the ability to expand internationally. There's 40 markets, but there's a new market opening up, India. We expect it to be $1 billion market. And if you know anyone or you are somebody that's of Indian origin, right? And the US has the largest population of people of Indian origin. They can become an entry point to help you grow a market internationally. So I've never been to India before, but I know people that are Indian. And those people can be connectors to business in India and in the Indian community. So let's talk about why now is such a great time and what that compensation can look like. Let's say you position a team, and when these prisms come out, let's say you get 50 of these prism devices. And let's say each device has 10 subscriptions, just 10 customers at $100, right? That's pretty easy to do. That would generate about $2,500 a month of leveraged income if we're looking at 5%. But that's a minimum commission. You're probably looking at multiple times that, when you actually factor in some of the other bonuses. What if you position to get 500 Prism devices out there? You're looking at $25,000 a month of leverage income. Okay, so now is the time to position in front to be able to do business and to build your team with the existing products that we have. Now's the time to create your account. You can do it for free. And then you want to start your 90-day transformation. You want to start using these products and position yourself to get in front of the wave. We are doing these calls Monday through Thursday, twice a day. These are Mountain Time. So 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Monday through Thursday, Friday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and then Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And so what you would do is you would set up your account. We would recommend getting started on this starter kit, right? To get started on some products so you can start experiencing results on the products and you can start sharing that story with other people. And then what you would then do is if you're thinking of somebody that you want to invite, or maybe you say, I know 10 people that would want to do this business, whatever that is, our next call is going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Mountain Time tonight. Invite those people on there. And then you do it again tomorrow and the next day. You can move at whatever pace you want to, because we have a system of leaders that are working together to help you grow the market. And so you get your starter kit to try some products. We would then recommend going on a subscription so that you can do at least a 90-day transformation and experience these products. And again, what we would recommend doing is getting back to the person that invited you on here. Tell them you're ready to get started. They can help you get your kit ordered, get your subscription ordered, help put together a game plan with you so you can take the next step. And we'll enjoy working with you guys. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you at 6 p.m. Mountain Time tonight. Bye bye.